Welcome to What in the Smut podcast.
Where the books are horny and so are we. I'm Elle.
And I'm Kay. So, what's going on in the Smutverse this week?
Well, it's been a while since we had one of these, but yet another AI copyright lawsuit has dropped.
Nice.
This time, Hachette is coming at Google, claiming that the developer of the large language model Gemini, quote, brazenly copied millions of copyrighted works to train its AI in violation of copyright law. This is a class action suit brought alongside several other publishers and is the latest attempt to keep AI companies in check. The last few have been less than successful, essentially landing on the decision that training on legally acquired copyrighted works is fair use, but keeping and training on pirated versions is not. Gemini's training data may or may not have included pirated books, but perhaps more interestingly is whether using the Google Books database would count as copyright infringement.
What does that mean exactly? What's the Google Books database?
So Google Books was a project many, many years ago. I want to say like 2012, 2013, which is basically like digitizing a wild amount of physical books and keeping a database, kind of like an archive,
Okay.
like a library, but not like a library. And at the time, there was a lot of, if I remember correctly, there was a lot of questions around the legal implications of like having a digital copy of books and like tracking down the copyright holders to get them to agree to essentially the preservation of their work. General agreement that Google's attempt to digitize books through scanning and computer-aided recognition for searching online was seen as a transformative step for libraries, but many authors and publishers expressed concern that Google had not sought their permission to make scans of the books still under copyright and offer them to users. So 2 separate lawsuits were filed. Google worked with the litigants in both suits to develop a settlement agreement. In late 2013, okay, this was kind of what I was remembering. After the class action status was challenged, the district court granted summary judgment in favor of Google, dismissing the lawsuit and affirming the Google Books project met all legal requirements for fair use. So this was a big deal. Like this is kind of like the dawn of the internet and like digitization of old books. And so the idea that then Google went on to use the Google Books kind of project as training for Gemini feels like very risky on their part to be like, yeah. We had some like questionable copyright use way back when. Let's take another bite at that apple.
Yeah. I feel like stuff like this was probably created by a well-meaning individual.
Yeah. Well, this was also like early in
this.
Google's history too.
Right. So it's like, let's get all of this because, like book burnings and all of that. So like, let's make sure we get all of this stuff. It turned into something probably less wholesome than it started, as tends to be the case with tech.
Perhaps. So Google, for its part, argues that copyright enforcement should, quote, focus on outputs. In this case, whether a specific image or piece of text actually copies an existing work, regardless of how it was created.
That's like saying I broke the law, but I didn't hurt anybody, so it's okay.
Well, it's hard. It's a hard line to walk because you could argue, I'm not saying that I would argue it, but you could argue that I read a book and then I could write something that is based on my knowledge of having read that book.
Yeah.
But if I don't write a book that is identical to that book, then suing me for reading the book feels weird.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I know. I agree with you. We have to find some kind of middle ground. And it's hard because like most of like the arguments against like AI companies, I don't know, there are a lot of them and there are a lot of different reasons why we should be like angry about it.
Yeah.
And like certainly trolling through pirated copies of a bunch of people's works is not good.
Yeah.
But like in like the best case scenario, like training on copyrighted works, like where's the line? I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't want to end up like the people in Wall-E.
I know. I'm with you. But we're not going to go down that existential, dreadful rabbit hole today. Instead, we're going to talk about a book whose main character's output is, shall we say, electric, specifically because of how he was created. Okay?
So this week we read Light Me Up by Sabrina Cross, and the synopsis says, "He was the first man to ever turn me on. When he flipped my switch and lit me up that first time, I knew he was it for me. There would never be another. It is unfortunate, then, that he doesn't even notice me. Sure, he appreciates my usefulness, but he never really sees me when he's using me. To him, I'm just another tool. Before you get too hard on him, though, I should tell you something about myself, something important. I am a lamp." Yes, you read that right. A lamp. Light Me Up is a sentient object romance intended for audiences over 18 years old. It involves intimate relations with a lamp. And if that doesn't sound like your thing, you should probably pick up a different book.
All I could think of this entire story was Anchorman.
I love lamp.
I love lamp.
Me too.
Where would you put this one on our Smut scale?
I think this might be a 3.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a little electro-play, and I think that is a more rare...
A lot of electro-play.
more rare kink.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I'd give this one a 3.
Yeah, I think that's right. For our content notes, it says this is a sentient object romance. Humans will be getting it on with sentient objects. Don't worry, everyone is gleefully consenting. If you read the last 3 sentences and think that's not for you, that's okay. There is still time to put this book down and walk away. No one will blame you. It's the sane thing to do. But if you're going to stick around, please be aware of the following: explicit sexual activity with inanimate objects, substance abuse, drunken behavior, dangerous activity with electric objects. If you feel I am missing anything, please reach out to me at author.sabrinacross@gmail.com and let me know. Notices and disclaimers, which is my favorite. The author in no way encourages sexual activity with a lamp or any other electric appliances. Actually, they strongly discourage it, and anyone who happens to get injured for trying it can no way blame the author for their own poor decision making. This is a work of fiction and not a how-to manual, people. Use your brains.
One of my favorite things that someone said to their child recently was,
Oh boy.
use some life skills. I was like, I need to start using that. But it's the same kind of vibe here. Use some life skills. Don't fuck a lamp.
Please. There were definitely some moments where I was like, yep, that's where the disclaimer comes in.
So overall, this had pretty decent ratings. It was a 3.7 on Amazon and a 3.3 on Goodreads. A 5-star from Amazon says, Pixar lamp could never. This was so freaking good. A sentient lamp with a hell of a backstory falls in love with his college student owner. There's some cord and electrical play, bulb sucking, mutual jacking, and more. Short and smutty, but also silly and very heartwarming. Page warming? Whatever. You feel warm and fuzzy reading this sweet little story. Sabrina nailed it. I kind of agree.
It was pretty awesome.
A 2-star says short but kind of weird. It was okay in general, but it got kind of weird when Thor showed up, and why a lamp? If you like weird, you'll love this book.
This person stumbled into sentient object and didn't read any of the disclaimers.
I mean, this was like us with Unhinged, where it's like, I'm sorry, what? Zeus is in this book? Why?
Yeah. Now, when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, of course.
But it's like, why do the gods end up in sentient object so often?
Because you need a deus ex machina. You need a reason why it's sentient. And like the best way to do that is just be like, yep, God's involved. Doesn't matter which one. A 1-star on Goodreads says, needed more time as a lamp, in my opinion.
This was a quick one, so.
It was very quick, but that didn't faze this person who gave a 5-star on Goodreads. Male sentient lamp smut, including Norse mythology. Let there be light. Okay.
Well, as always, there will be a full rundown of the plot for this one. There is kind of a plot here.
Kinda, yeah.
We will be going through chapter by chapter, lots of spoilers. So if you want to give Sabrina Cross our page reads, there will be links for this in our show notes. Are you ready to get into it?
So ready. So we start from Lux's perspective.
And Lux is the lamp. Is the Pixar's lamp named Luxo? I think
I
so.
don't know. The Pixar lamp has a name?
Yeah. Hold on. Luxo Jr.
Well, the Pixar lamp has a parent?
It is based on the character's design is based on the real life Luxo L1 desk lamp, which was created in 1937 by Norwegian industrial designer Jack Jacobson.
So Lux is the lamp. And immediately we are just gonna like jump right into the fact that he is a lamp. And why is he a lamp?
Yes.
Specifically, I am a studio designed task light made of aluminum alloy featuring a weighted base, but don't ask me my weight, an adjustable arm with external springs, and a 360-degree rotating head. Basically, I'm amazing. Okay.
So then we find out that when he was first purchased, he got plugged in, and then the house got struck by lightning before he was even used for the first time. Except it wasn't any lightning, it was Thor's lightning. And the lightning of the gods carries with it a little bit of their power. So all of a sudden, now he can see and hear things, and he can move around, and he lasts for a little bit longer after he gets unplugged.
Mm-hmm. He's able to function for days before finally fading to black. But he unsettled the woman who first owned him because he was exploring and testing his limits. So she gave him away to a secondhand store. And then the next thing he knew, he was being plugged in by a large, strong hand, a hand that could easily hold me too hard or force me into the slot, but he didn't. And when he flicks my switch, it is always gentle. He's a large man, aware of his strength, and always careful not to break me. For me, it was love at first sight. And so I'm like, this story gave me a lot of Handle Me vibes.
Yes, very much.
Which, like, at least Jake, who's our other male main character here, seems to actually care about Lux to some degree by the end of the story.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like in Handle Me, the human was just kind of like, I don't know what this is, but I do want you to fuck me. Men. Right? Yeah. I felt very sad for the hockey stick. And for the lamp, I feel like he has a more satisfactory ending.
Yes, I did feel sad for the lamp also, though.
Yeah, me too.
In some cases.
Me too.
So then we move on to Jake, who's our other main character. And Jake is a college man. And he's talking about how he and his roommates have decided to play a game. And this is the ultimate boys in college thing.
This is like next level stupid boys in college.
That's true. So it started as a joke. My roommate Evan had produced a handful of pills and proposed a game. We set up half of the beer pong table, dropping pills in each cup instead of beer, and lined up. And so it went, tossing the ball until we made one in and then downing the pill. As if that wasn't dumb enough, we hadn't stopped to ask what we were downing. Then it began. The effects started kicking in. Sleeping pills, uppers, downers, hallucinogens. They were all there. And lucky me, so was Viagra.
This is insane to me. No, boys are so fucking dumb. Like, and notice that I'm not like questioning that this is a realistic scenario.
Yeah. Oh, this has definitely happened.
Yes. I'm just like, this is so stupid. God, boys are dumb.
Also, I feel like boys probably have all like popped a Viagra to be like, let's see who's going to last the longest.
Almost assuredly. So Jake is laying there still hard.
Painfully hard.
Painfully hard, yes. The aching boner started off funny enough, but that was over an hour and 4 orgasms ago. Now my hand on my cock is agony, but the pressure and overstimulation is better than the throbbing if I let go. Oh, I have regrets, so many regrets. And Lux decides that this is the time to make his presence known, which is to say, I could help you with that.
Uh-huh.
Which, of course, makes Jake wonder if hallucinations are a side effect of Viagra.
Which, I mean,
No,
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 did you
they've
look it up?
tested. No, but like
Oh,
I'm using my critical thinking skills, which is they've poured so much money into researching boner pills for men. If there
that's
were
true.
any negative side effects aside from your boner lasting too long, it would have been pulled from shelves immediately.
Did you know how they fixed that? Is just they literally just drain the blood from the penis? Yeah, that's what it is. It's blood that makes it hard.
I mean, I knew that, but like I didn't.
It was
They
on an
have to.
episode of The Pit.
What?
Yeah, they just drain it.
Amazing,
Is it though?
incredible.
So he's confused, and
Yes.
Lux says, "Don't freak out." And then he says, "What the fuck?" And he says, "I told you not to freak out. I know it's weird, but I could help you with that."
Uh-huh.
So he's like trying to talk to him. He said, What did you do?" And Jake's not answering because he's very confused. And he says, "I could tell you my story, or I could help you with what looks like a very painful erection. I've never seen you so hard before." Now,
Uh-huh.
this is almost like it's not Dubcon, but kind of like he's been
There's
watching him and
certainly some voyeurism here that's not consensual.
yes. So, like, it could almost be argued to go up to a 4 because of that, because, like, he had the
Almost.
capacity to make his presence known,
Yeah, he does have a voice. He could have spoken at any time,
but
but
instead he's just kind of watching, like,
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe like a 3.5. Like, because I feel like 4 is very strong for what it
yeah,
is.
that's true.
I'm gonna go with 3.5. But Jake says, you've seen me hard. And the lamp goes, of course, though never for so long. And Jake says what we're all thinking, which is, that's creepy and weird. I agree. And then Lux replies, sorry, but it doesn't sound sorry. Let me make it up to you. I can help you.
It's the way that this all goes down is pretty wild, even by our standards.
I agree.
So he tells him to wrap the cord around himself and says, "I'll do the rest." Not quite. He still has to do some work.
A little bit.
So he does. I know you're going to ask. I don't like the good boy in this
No,
one at all
no.
because the lamp says he yanks the cord out of the wall
Yeah.
and he says, "I know you like it rough, but do be gentle. I'm more breakable than most of your partners." And Jake apologizes and he says, "Good boy. Now wrap me around yourself just like that." I don't love it. And
hmm
this is also I didn't hate it in that one time with the lemon drop.
Right. But
It
that's because Alex can do no wrong.
That's true. But that one really worked for me, and like this one, maybe it's because he's a lamp. I don't know.
Maybe. But Lux is like, I don't know, like kind of freaking out because
Lux or
he's
Jake?
no, Lux, like because
Oh,
Lux has been obsessed with Jake for unknown period of time.
yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe this is happening. The electricity practically vibrates within me as I watch my precious Jake wrap my cord around himself. Like, I don't like the obsessiveness.
I don't think it is obsessiveness. I don't mind this because
Okay.
I think it's the like anticipation and like, holy shit, this is finally happening.
I don't mind, holy shit, this is finally happening. I think the thing that trips me up is my precious Jake. Like, he's not yours. And like, it's weird. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know you like that, little bro. And we get confirmation that he doesn't know Lux like that because he says, okay, Lamp, show me what you've got. And
Lux says, "My name is Lux. Remember that. I want to hear you scream it." And I was like, damn.
shit. It's a little at odds with like being shy, being like, oh shit, I can't believe this is happening. But like it flows naturally from calling him a good boy. So
Yeah.
I guess it works. Lux pushes electricity down my length until it is warm and vibrating around him. And Jake says, "What the fuck?" and then cuts off as Lux squeezes tighter around him and he shouts, "Oh God." And Lux says, "I'm happy to be your God." How does that feel? Damn.
Yes. So this is really working for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And Lux is sending more energy down the cord, making it vibrate. Jake is saying, feels so damn good, just like that. And then he finally gets to the point where the Viagra wears off. And then he looks, this is again from Lux's perspective, and it says, he looks at me and I wait for him to touch me, to stroke me, to take me to heaven. Instead, he just shakes his head and laughs under his breath. I sink back into myself as he grabs a towel from his doorknob and leaves the room. I'm still vibrating with energy and craving his touch, but he dismisses me with a shake of his head. My light dims and goes out as I feel my heart breaking into a million pieces.
God damn.
Like, you just made him come and now he's dismissing you.
Yeah.
And this miscommunication is so sad.
I wouldn't even I don't know. It's weird to call it a miscommunication because,
Well, he thinks he's
I guess
hallucinating.
he thinks he's hallucinating. He does. He does think he's hallucinating, but I don't know. It is very sad.
So he hasn't plugged him back in. It's been a
Mm-mm.
week. He hasn't plugged him back in. His roommates are asking him to go out, and he's like, no, I've got a project to do. I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah.
And then he plugs in the lamp and tries to turn it on, and it won't turn on. And he's like, what is wrong with you? And the lamp goes, what the hell is wrong with you?
And Jake is confused and alarmed. And he goes, "What?" And he thinks, "No, nope, this couldn't be happening. After my misadventure with Viagra, I haven't touched any substances, not even a beer. There is no way this could be happening." But Lux is on a roll now. He goes, "Maybe I'm tired of being used. Maybe I don't want to be just another tool to get you off. Did you think of that?" The lamp sounds just like a disgruntled girlfriend.
I mean, where's the lie?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, no, it's just a hallucination. It wasn't real. It can't be real. And Lux says a hallucination. The lamp's voice is low and quiet. It almost sounds sad. Could a lamp get sad? And he says, well, what else could it be? And they're so snippy with each other. And he says, yes, that's it. I'm just a hallucination. Please don't worry about it. Just go out with your friends. And by tomorrow, this will all have just been a crazy memory. He goes, you know what? That sounds like a great fucking idea.
And so Jake goes out with his friends and then gets absolutely plastered, 22-year-old boy shit.
Yeah, as they do.
As they do. He attempts to seduce one of his roommates who kisses him back but shoves him away and is like, "Nah, I'm not in the mood for your limp whiskey dick. Get some sleep." And then he's thinking about seeing if he could track down Dave, a different roommate, and see if he's up for some fun. But when he sets up to execute this plan, the room tilts and spins around me like a carnival ride, and I immediately lay back down and cover my face with a pillow. Evan might have a point about not being up for a good fuck right then. But Lux is here to judge. He goes, now this is just pathetic.
It's one of those things where, sometimes a well-placed, told you so is kind of the best revenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of giving him this right now a little bit.
Yeah. Jake is thinking to himself, there's no way I'm letting a goddamn lamp judge me. So what if I am drunk? I'm 22 years old. I'm supposed to be going out and getting drunk. It's what we do. And Lux is like, I thought you were done drinking yourself to oblivion. You've been so good lately. So you're not even going to talk to me? Basically trying to needle a response out of Jake. And he finally gets one because Jake says,
triggered me a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. What do you want me to say? Should I apologize to my lamp for going out with the guys? You sound like a jealous girlfriend. You realize that is weird as hell. Bro.
And he goes, dude, you're a fucking lamp. And Lux says, I bet you don't even remember my name.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I mentally flail trying to think through the horny orgasm haze memory of that night. It starts with an L. It definitely is an L name. It's Lex. I'm certain of it. The
Mhm.
lamp growls, fucking growls at me. My name is Lux, you asshole. So good.
Yep.
So he says, "You're a lamp. How can you even have a name?" And he goes, "And you're a cabbage head." I've never heard that. Is that like an insult, or is it just like a silly one that Sabrina Cross came up with?
I don't know, because I've also not heard it.
Oh, a cabbage head is a classic old fashioned insult used to describe a foolish, slow witted, or ignorant person. Dating back to the 17th century, it likened someone's head to a literal head of cabbage, suggesting their brain is dense, leafy, or lacks intelligence altogether.
Well, there you have it. Well, Jake is lying there thinking about how his lamp just insulted him, and what the fuck did I do to deserve this? Well, you were rude.
So he's trying to get work done. This is
Yes.
later. And he's flipping the switch on and off, and the lamp is refusing to turn on. So he starts to run his hand along the arm of the lamp
Hmm.
and says, "Lux, I'm sorry. You have
Huh.
to admit this is a little crazy. You'll have to forgive me for not understanding or believing." He went from not believing to believing real quick
Really quick.
just because the lamp won't turn on.
Yeah. It feels a little manipulative, I
That
think.
that the lamp's kind of throwing a tantrum and not working.
No,
Oh.
maybe actually, maybe I'm aligned too much with Lux, but I was thinking that like Jake's kind of being manipulative because he's just like, I need to use you for your intended purposes, and I'm going to trick you into doing that by like giving you sex, I guess.
I don't think he's tricking him though, not intentionally
Okay.
anyway. Lex says, "Keep doing that and I might forgive you."
Mhm.
So he wraps his hand more firmly around the upper arm and strokes downward to the joint. The light flickers on and the head falls back, directing the beam toward the ceiling. This was like, for something that is so outrageous and ridiculous, it was really well written, and that you can see that, but you can
Oh
also
yeah.
picture that being a man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
It's very well done.
yes. Jake thinks that he's focused on the sounds of pleasure he's getting from Lux and thinks sex sounds are one of my favorite things about sex. The moans, groans, sighs, whimpers, and shouts bring me so much pleasure. There is something about like that is better than
Mhm.
like silent sex,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
I mean, unless it's like you have to be quiet, that makes it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a different kind of bent on it, I would
Yes.
say. So Lux is getting brighter and brighter. I have to look away as blinding light fills the room and burns my eyes. He's vibrating in my hand. The whine of electricity is almost deafening. I wonder how everyone in the house can't hear it. I'm close, so close. I jerk us faster, and with a final groan, the light goes out as Lux comes. And then Jake's like, wait, no, because he is like on the edge as well and also wants to come. And I had
Yes.
a brief petty moment where I was like, it would serve you well if you didn't get to come this time, since last time you left Lux hanging. But
Yes.
Lux is not as petty as I am.
I have a question for you. And
Oh,
I don't know if this is a common thing, if it's a neurodivergent thing.
uh huh.
Can you hear electricity?
Yeah.
Like, there's times where I'll be like, that light is so loud.
Yeah.
And other people will be like, what the hell are you talking about?
What
Like,
are you
I,
talking about?
I can hear the light and I
Mm hmm.
hate it.
Yep. Yep. It's
So
like one of
that,
those things, yeah, where like people talk about like overstimulation.
mhm.
And I feel like I especially like notice it. I'm like, the lights are too bright and I can hear them. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's like my printer.
Mhm.
I can hear my printer and it's not even on.
Right. I had to replace a power strip
Mhm.
because I could hear it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this, I cannot stand this being so close to me and being so loud.
So again, he wraps the cord around himself. Lux
Mhm.
sends energy through it, and he uses that to continue to pump.
Mhm.
Her words, not mine. I don't particularly like that.
I don't mind it. It's fine. But Jake finally comes and Lux croons, good boy, but I'm not done with you yet. And so Lux tells him to lay down on the bed and take me with you. They go over to the bed. And this was an interesting choice, I feel like, on Sabrina Cross's part, because Lux tells him to take out my bulb and suck on it. He can't feel it.
Yeah.
I can't feel it. Once the bulb is removed, I lose sensation, but I want to see a part of me inside of him. And Jake, completely separately, is like, this doesn't seem safe.
Yes.
Which is fair.
Yeah, you can picture the EMT guy, like.
Yeah, not you. Not you. And Lux replies, baby, I'm a hopping, talking lamp. I am infused with the power of Thor. My glass is unbreakable. And so while Jake is sucking on the bulb, Lux puts his head essentially onto Jake's cock so that his cock is in the socket of the lamp.
Yeah.
Which, like,
seems dangerous.
Seems very dangerous. Obviously, we started with a lot of caveats from the author.
It also is not plugged in.
It is
in that
not.
moment. So there's that.
There is that. The socket is only deep enough to take his head, but I take as much as I can. I begin to fluctuate energy levels from a soft, gentle hum to an intense buzz. We're like ramping up the energy, the electricity. We're going towards getting Jake there. And he says, oh my God, only for a deep voice from the doorway to say, I am a god, but I don't believe I am your god. Like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Thor has entered the chat. Like, okay.
So Lux is nervous.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this entire story is 28 pages.
Yes.
We are on page 20. Thor has arrived.
Yep.
And Jake says, what the fuck? I say, not getting up, but wishing I was wearing pants and hadn't just been caught fucking my lamp. Who the fuck are you and why are you in my room? And Thor replies, I'm not here for you, mortal. I've been looking for you, my little friend, to Lux.
Ominous.
I thought this was really well done for how short this story was.
Yeah.
And how little like space you have to work with to create like, I don't know, some tension, I guess.
Yeah.
Thor is basically like, this happens from time to time. Like, you shouldn't exist. My energy goes wild and something gets caught up in it. But in all my centuries, I've never had one of these creatures become so sentient. It's like he's his own being. And Jake is kind of like, yeah, he does exist. He is his own being. His name is Lux. Stop referring to him as a lamp. He's a person. Which is funny because then he thinks to himself, okay, fine, maybe I had been referring to him as a lamp too, but I know better. Lux is his own being and he is as real as anyone.
Which he's like, you can't
sweet.
take him. He's his own person and you can't take him.
Just like, I don't know, we hadn't really seen much of Jake's, like, we don't really get a whole lot of like internal monologue from Jake, but protectiveness does surge through him. I don't know who this man is, but he isn't taking Lux from me. Not now, not ever. And so like, he's like, no, you can't take him. And Thor says, you defend it. This is fascinating. You know, I had come to fix my mistake. It's never good for inanimate objects to gain sentience. They never seem to know what to do with it, and it always ends poorly. But I think in this case, I'm going to make an exception. And so he takes Lux and turns him into a person.
Yep.
Just like that.
Yeah. A flash of light, and all of a sudden, Thor is gone. And in his place is a man about my age. He's lean and angular with fair blonde hair and light silvery eyes. He stands naked in the center of my room, running his hands over himself. It isn't sexual, more the act of someone trying to learn the feel of something. And Lux goes, he gave me a gift.
He told me I could stay or that he would find somewhere for me to go. And Jake says, stay, before the words even processed in my brain. Stay with me. Lux launches himself at me. His mouth comes to mine in a fierce kiss, and his arms wrap around my shoulders. My mind is reeling from everything that just happened, but this kiss, it's perfect. It is just right. And then we kind of get like a little, it's more of an epilogue than the last than a last chapter. But
I would agree.
it says, he was the first man to ever turn me on. When he flipped my switch and lit me up that first time, I knew that he was it for me. There would never be another. It is fortunate for me, Jake feels the same. It is a dream come true. So Thor set him up with an identity, some money, and an apartment. It's not enough to live on forever, but it is enough to get him started. So he enrolled in college to become an electrician, which is interesting because I feel like electrician is a trade. So you would go through a trade school, not college, but not particularly important. And so like Jake finds someone to take over his room and moves in with Lux. And we get a single paragraph of them like figuring out how to be roommates together because they both hate doing dishes and taking out the trash. And it says, there has been more than one night I worry arguments over such things will be enough to make him leave, but he never does. You're an idiot, he'd tell me. I stood up to a literal god to keep you, and you think an argument or dishes is going to be enough to drive me away? Like,
I mean,
okay.
Here's the thing, though. I kind of can appreciate this because to feel that way and be unsure and then to get some level of reassurance in a way that, like, is like, stop it. We're going to fight, you stupid idiot. Like, it's fine.
It's just the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it.
I can too. And we end with, is it happily ever after? Who could say? But I am determined to do my best to enjoy the life I was unexpectedly given and to love the man I never thought would see me. The end.
It was sweet.
It was pretty sweet. How would you rate this one?
I think this one's like a 3.5 for me.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was well written. Sabrina Cross does a nice job.
Yeah.
But also, like, it was a sweet story. There were parts that made me laugh. I like the kind of the power dynamic. So, yeah, this one's like a 3.5 for me. What about you?
I think I'm landing at 3. I think the writing was good. I like the idea of exploring with electro-play. I think that was a very creative kind of addition here. I'm not a big fan of insta-love, and like Lux very much loves Jake at first sight, which is just not my bag. So it feels a little rushed in terms of feelings, but that's kind of to be expected for a novella of this length. So overall, like, I agree. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And Sabrina Cross hasn't done me wrong yet.
Yeah, seriously.
How did you cast this one?
So for this one, for Jake, I went with Austin Colby.
Okay.
He looks to be very new on the scene, but also seems to be in Broadway.
Okay.
He's been in The Beauty, which either just came out or is coming out, Crystal Lake, but it also looks like he's been on Broadway as Gatsby or in Gatsby.
Wow.
So he's handsome, but I found him by doing the like frat boy lookup.
Yeah, he's got the vibes.
He's got the vibes. He's got dark hair that's real flowy and just he's handsome. And it looks like he's relatively new to the scene. So good luck to him. I think with that face, he'll go pretty far. And then for Lux, obviously he's going to be a lamp at first, but when he turns into a man, I went with Rudy Pankow, who is JJ from Outer Banks.
Oh, I see.
He's got the blonde hair. He's handsome.
It makes sense to me.
I got nothing.
What more do you need? Fantastic.
So, what are we reading next week?
Next week, we are reading Legendary Roleplay by Rosemary Bunny, which I did not realize until we started reading it that it was more sentient object bullshit. So that was kind of a jump scare for me, which it shouldn't have been. I don't think. But I'm not sure what I thought I was walking into. But yes, there will be some sentient object. There's a lot of kink, so that one will be interesting
for sure. Have you been reading anything else as of late?
I have. Oh, I'm excited.
Okay.
Here, I am reading Behind Five Willows.
Okay.
Which is a historical romance, Pride and Prejudice meets Korean history.
Okay.
which I'm very excited about. I got by the author doing reels on Instagram, and I'm a sucker for a Pride and Prejudice retelling. So
Yeah.
like it got me. It got me. So I'm very excited. I'm only a few pages in, but it should be a fun twist on the I would say the known literature. How about you?
Nice. I am still working on that breaking the habit of being yourself.
Uh-huh.
I haven't gotten very far, but otherwise, it's been a lot going on. I haven't had a ton of time. So,
Yeah, summer.
yeah. Well, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, leave us a review. Check us out on YouTube. You'll get to see the video of this week's episode. And if you want to go back and watch some of the other ones, those are all up there as well. But we appreciate you. And with that,
We're at our wits' end.
we'll see you next time.